What's going on, everybody? Happy Friday. We are live once again. Hope everybody's having a good day so far.
Yeah.
DJ?
I'm doing good, man. Doing good. We made it to Friday, and man, it's been a busy week, and I'm excited to have our buddy here, fellow Kentuckian. Now, you got to point the other way when you point.
I just noticed that.
Like, he's on this side to me, but I got to point this way.
Yeah.
So we got Lamar Station, Appliance Professional from Louisville, Kentucky. 23-year military veteran. I believe it was Air Force, right?
Ouch. I started in the Air Force 4 years, and I went to the Army.
See, I said Army last time, and you said Air Force. All right. So, anyways, military veteran.
Thank you for your service, buddy.
Thank you.
Naturally born entrepreneur. He's naturally doing this business thing right. And we're going to talk a little bit about that. We're going to get some hellos in. We'll get some prayer in. And then we're going to talk about the seasons and preparing for the seasons to finish the week on that topic. We got Kyle Dunn. Yes, we're here, buddy. We're here. We didn't forget you. Thanks for showing up. Morning, Pimfish.
What's up?
Guest Spare. We're going to see you in a couple days, brother. Thanks for joining us. Jennifer Mollenhau.
Phil's better half, the queen of atomic tech.
Much better. He takes all the credit for running that franchise.
Yeah, I think low key she's the brains behind the operation. I don't know. Yeah. Maybe we need to have. I'd like to have her and Phil on one morning,
and then we could really see, right?
Yeah.
I think it's probably like Justin Gandy, right? There for a while, we thought Justin Gandy was the brains of the operation.
Yeah.
April's running that show. What about you, Lamar?
Yeah, Rick is definitely brain of my operation. Where I need to be, and I'll be there.
So you get all the credit on Facebook, but she's the one making things happen.
Absolutely.
I'll tell you, my wife, April, she's not the business person, but she's the one that stops me at making some of the wild decisions I want to make.
Right.
Like, I'll sit there and I'll think about these moves I want to make for like 3 months. I'll seek all the wise counsel I can, talking to all these guys much smarter than me. And then I want to make a move and she challenges it. Like, are you sure? I'm like, dang, man. Am I?
Yeah. That's very similar to how me and my wife are. She oftentimes is the voice of reason to my crazy ideas, because anybody that knows me knows I'll have some crazy ideas. Morning, Andrew. How you doing, man?
What's up, Andrew?
I do think it's interesting, though, in business, especially businesses where the husband and wife work together, how those different dynamics play out, because it can be trying on a marriage, and it can be trying on a relationship when you're working, side by side, or your wife's your CSR, your wife's in charge of whatever. I always, my wife, it works way harder than I do, and I'm not saying that because she's sitting right over there, homeschooling and doing everything else, but she's always there to, if I ask her to do something or help with something, she's always there. So it's always interesting to me when a appliance company, or any company really, has that dynamic where it's like two just working side by side. And I don't know, it's always interesting to me.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, when we first started our the appliance side of the business, we were in the same office, and so we had two desks. So I'm sitting here, answering the calls for Appliance Professionals. She's sitting behind me. She was working with Geek Squad, answering their appliance calls. Like customers are just wearing her out all day long. And I look over at her. I said, "Don't you want to come over here and work with me?" So yeah, she gave the equipment back and decided to join my team.
Oh man, that's pretty good recruiting.
Apparently, my audio's messed up. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, you got a little static in your audio.
Let me try something.
Good morning, George. Andrew says his significant other doesn't want anything to do with the business. He said that's your thing. Morning, Rob.
Morning, Rob.
Paul says I'm not going to be able to watch live, and I think it's going to be more than one message. Trying to read it, but Mike and TK talking about lead gen companies being a cancer to the industry, and I don't totally disagree. Yeah, I guess you guys talked about that Wednesday, TK. Well, he's gone. He gone.
He'll be back.
So, anyways, we'll get into a little bit of that. We're gonna talk about lead sources. It's a little different than lead gen. What's going on?
Can y'all hear me now?
Yeah, you're still a little staticky. Anyways, who wants to pray?
You pray, because my audio's messed up.
Sure, I'll do it. Dear Lord, our Heavenly Father, God, we thank you for this day, Lord. We thank you for getting us to the end of this week. We thank you for the people that you put in our lives, the family, the friends, the co-workers that we have, Lord, that suit up and show up every day and have our backs. Lord, we thank you for this community that we get to be a part of, these alliance groups. Lord, we thank you for all of them, all the ones that show up and interact with us, and those that are receiving something. Lord, we thank you for this opportunity. Lord, we ask you to be with each and every one of us out here today. We will keep us safe so we can come back to our families this weekend and enjoy that time. Lord, we ask you to be with this message today, that somebody gets something out of it, some encouragement, some positivity. We can go out and show your love in the world with the people that we interact with, Lord. We ask all of this in your Son, Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
All right.
Is my audio better?
Amen.
A lot better.
Okay.
Yeah. We got Jenny Seeley. What's going on, Jenny?
What's up, Jenny?
Thanks for joining us. Well, we missed some comments here. Dan. Good morning, Dr. Dan. He's trying to get his wife to be back in the business. Get back in her business. Okay. I see you. Andrew says, Lamar, your shirt is really nice. How do you keep it so crisp and clean, and white is rough?
Oh, white is very rough. I will tell you. I got a lot of white shirts. There's those days where I'm just feeling froggy and I go out there with a white shirt on and come back. It's black. So yeah, it doesn't hold up well when you got like a washer or something you're working on.
It does
look I was gonna say, if I wore that shirt to work, I would come. I mean, some days I come back. I had a Speed Queen I had to do an idler pulley on the other day, and all that inner dust had come out inside of it, and I had that stuff all over my hands and my arms. And if I'd had I like the dark gray just because it hides all the stains. And sometimes when I'm eating in the van too, I drop condiments on my shirt and then I just rub them in.
Yeah. See, that would be my problem. I don't get a lot of dirt and stuff on my shirts. Now my shorts are another thing. I always wipe my hands on my shorts, but it's always the barbecue sauce that ends up on my shirt.
Yeah.
I can't go to lunch and come back out clean.
Yeah. We need to come out with Appliance Alliance bibs for us to wear when we're in our vans eating.
There you go. Bob's joining us. Well, we got a bunch of people watching today.
Good morning, Bob.
This is William Matthews.
Oh, what's up, Will?
What's up,
Yeah, you
Will?
like the crispy comment.
He said,
Click the
Lamar
link so we
shirts
can
are
see,
always
bud.
crispy. Yeah, if you hit the link at the top of the Facebook post, it'll give StreamYard permission to use your name. We got our buddy Doug Shear on. What's
The
going
man,
on?
Doug.
Hey, Andrew's talking about them GE top load belts. Yeah, they get you, man. I think we've missed some here. So Paul Hartman says, I get the point, but I think that what creates guys using them is this is about lead gens that are created by the pros of the niche like Mike or Alex or Servicers Web. As Mike said, 90% are wasting your money. You guys talk lead gens on Wednesday, TK?
Yeah, we were doing an Ask Us Anything on marketing and things like that, and one of the questions was what our opinion was on lead gen. And I shared my opinion. I think lead gen is a cancer to the industry. I think it's bad for the industry. I don't think it promotes us as small business owners and guys that are wanting to get our name out there, but it promotes them and buying leads. It's like that Dave Chappelle meme where it's the crackhead from the Dave Chappelle show.
Getting more leads.
Let me get a service call, man. Let me get a service call. No, thank you. I'm not buying leads from you. Sorry.
Somebody's phone's ringing off the hook there. You must be getting some good calls in.
Sorry, I had to mute it.
Today we're going to continue that talk in the spirit of the week's topic, preparing for the seasons. Lead gen, we most of us believe that it is a cancer. We don't need to beat that one to death. So what other sources of leads do we have other than lead gen? And my thought was Lamar, he made a video, I think it was back in December when we were going into the slow season and people were freaking out about what do we do? The calls are drying up. And he had this whole skit about Appliance Depot. And there's different aisles in a store that where you can get different things, different lead sources to keep your business afloat while the natural sources dry up, and not putting your eggs all in one basket, so to speak. So we asked Lamar to join us and see if he wanted to share some of that. And you guys asked the questions. Lamar will make up the answers. You get what you get. This is Freestyle Friday. Go ahead, Lamar.
Yeah. So, hey, first of all, thanks for letting me join your show. And I like the laid back atmosphere here. But yeah, that was, we all know as we start getting around November, December, January, February, money gets a little funny in some people's households and calls may not come as fast or hard and heavy as they do in the summertime. So I always try to, 23 years in the military. So I always try to think through, what's the next mission I need to take on, or they call it, what's the long range fires that I'm trying to hit as I'm going out there every day and working this business. So the big thing for me was, so in our strategy, I'm all about strategy. Okay. So in our strategy document, one of the key pillars that we have is that, well, two things. We're not going to be a one trick pony. That's number one, because that's a risk management philosophy. And then number two, I'm going to cherry pick. Okay. So I want all this stuff to come in, jobs flying at me, and I want to start picking off the ones that I want to do to make me the most amount of money, that fill my, whatever niche I want to do. Because sometimes I want to do refrigeration for the week or for the month. Sometimes I just want to do dishwashers. I want to do GE.
Hey, Lamar, hold on.
Yep.
Before we get too far in, let's build the credibility.
Okay.
Andrew's mentioning, talk about your company first.
Okay.
How big you are, what kind of things you're doing, and that may add some credibility to what you're doing here.
Okay. Hey, no problem at all. So I'm the owner of Appliance Professionals of Louisville. So mainly, I service what we call the I-71 corridor. So I-71 from Louisville to Cincinnati, Ohio, is a space that I own. Okay. So with my company, I have myself. I recently lost a technician, so I am looking for another tech. I have another technician. Now he's actually in a market we're opening down in Georgia. I have my son who works with me part-time as a technician. And then my wife runs the office. Her name's Eureka. And then I have a VA from the Philippines who does a lot of my back office support. We've been in business for 2 years now. Well, a year and a half full time, but we've been in business because I was still in the military when I started running calls. So retired from the military in May of last year. And then preceding that in January of last year is when I started doing it full time. So in the meantime, in those 2 years, I've had 3 technicians. 2 of those technicians have become my competition now. So I have no problem training them. One's still active duty, so he's down there around Fort Knox area. So he's doing jobs in the evenings and the weekends.
Yeah.
So I have a service truck that's wrapped, and I mainly service. It's like the smaller suburbs outside of Louisville, but it's very fruitful. Anything else I need to cover on that part?
No, that's good, man. Go ahead.
23 years military service, fully retired. And all right, so I'll move on from there. So the big thing is, like I said, we just want diversity of sources. So as I alluded to in my video, you just have to determine, number one, where you're going, and then number two, start pulling in as many things as you can. So we do it all. So I'll just go through the different areas that we do. So we do flyers. That's a big thing. We create these flyers. I think last time we did 2,000 flyers, and we bought the addresses from the post office. Total investment of about $400, and sent those out. First job, made my money back and then some, and that really drove us to the point where we sent out 1,000 of them. I told my wife, I said, don't send out anymore. She's like, why? I said, because we can't handle the calls we didn't anticipate. We didn't anticipate the phone was just going to blow up, because people didn't know that in this area there was an appliance guy, so it was an awareness issue. And the guys from Louisville, they don't want to come this far, so they were kind of in a conundrum, and they're Googling their life away. So I just set my business right there in their lap, and that was huge, because that touches on people who want to support local business. I can go into all that. So we do Google ads.
Yeah.
Right. So we do Google My Business, Google Local Services, Google Ads. Now, I've turned off local services and ad campaign because we went on vacation last week, and I turned them off, and the phone rang more than when I had them on. So that's that constant recalibrating of our marketing efforts to figure out, like, wait a minute, I'm paying money for something that doesn't work. We originally started with Thumbtack. That's how we built our business. We got up to, I want to say 68 5-star reviews, but Thumbtack has changed. We try to evaluate it monthly. It's changed. It's not giving us the results we're looking for. So we've cut it off, and I don't think I'm going back to it. We use Home Depot Pro Referral. That's been great. As many know, that's more of a loyalty program. They pretty much, I go there and I buy stuff, and they give me points. Every time I get a job, they take 40 points off until it goes to 0. They give me no more leads. So we turn that on, turn it off as needed. Then from there, we have property managers. We have local furniture rental / appliance rental company we do jobs for. B&I go there every Thursday morning. I send my wife every Thursday morning. But so I get those referrals from there. And then lately, the truck being wrapped and riding around my community, ladies walking their dog, and she's like, hey, my refrigerator's not cooling. Okay, ma'am, give me 1 second to put my tools up. I'm just going to follow you to your house. You and Fluffy, I'll be there in a minute, So, between that, and so my VA that I have, she manages that on a daily basis, to the point where we have a conversation. I'm like, look, I need more refrigerators, or I got my GE tool now. I need more GE stuff, and she starts modifying stuff and gets the phone ringing for me with the right things. And then my wife is the second level because she's been with me long enough that she knows where's the goat rope. She knows what I don't like to work on. She knows, what to say to smooth everything out. Still give the customer solution, which sometimes, I'm like, ma'am, I'm not doing, this 40-year-old dishwasher. But I tell you, EJ, man, he masters these, so we send them your way.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's just, and the key point being, it's just constant refinement. That's the best way I can say it. It's constant refinement. We're looking every month. At the beginning of the month, we try to figure out of all my lead sources, how much money am I going to generate from each? Okay. What am I going to be doing? And oh, by the way, what's not working and what do we need to take money away from? But I'm telling you, man, for me, Google My Business is a majority of our leads. But the flyers, they're just like interject as needed. So I look at the short, middle, long-term game. And, in the summertime, we scale back heavy because the phone just rings automatically. But as we start moving to the later season, we'll do more probably the mail out campaigns and reach out to customers we've been to, just send them a VIP card and just make contact with them.
Yeah.
What software are you using for dispatching calls?
We're using House Call Pro.
Okay. And that's the main thing you're using for tracking those leads, because a lot of people don't track their leads. They're not asking the question, how did you hear about us, or tracking where the calls are coming from. Is House Call Pro mainly, because I know from talking with EJ and other guys that use House Call Pro, it has a lead tracking system built into it, just like Workies does.
Yeah, that's a great question, TK. So there's two ways we track our calls. So yeah, you're right. Number one is when Eureka loads the jobs, right? The VA loads jobs too. Whoever loads the jobs, we ask the customer, hey, how did you find us? And then there's the so we do two tags. We do the customer tag for where the customer found us at, and then we do the job tag for what type of job it is, so we can go back and look at that data. But then when my bookkeeper goes into QuickBooks and loads the jobs, you can tag a job there too. So I have her put a tag in QuickBooks also. So if we want to run different analytics or different numbers in QuickBooks, we still have some redundancy in the information. But yeah, absolutely. I use that because they have the dashboard with those reports. And man, to me, the tagging feature is a must. It's a must.
Yeah, you seem a lot like me, man. I didn't realize how much I like numbers, but I'm like a stats nerd.
Right.
Like I'm not great with numbers, but I can make an Excel spreadsheet for just about anything with
Right.
formulas and everything. So every month, it's one of the things I like to do. The first week of the month is go back through the last month. I track all of my lead sources, total sales, averages, which ones were most profitable, and even by county, and then by tech. Mm-hmm. And I do the same thing, man. And that's one thing I think that me and you've connected on is we got the same kind of business mind. There's a lot of people out there that are just doing the tech side.
Right.
And you're missing it. You're missing the boat, because you may end up, it may work for you for a long time, but then you're going to end up to a point where something doesn't work anymore. Right. And it's going to be hard to pinpoint what that is. So we've got a couple questions, and let's see if we can pick one here. Andrew says, cherry picking as a technique, do you feel there are any repercussions?
Oh man. Hey, first of all, Andrew, I love your question. That's how my mind thinks. Like, okay, yeah. But what are the risks? where the potholes at? I don't see any. I don't see any repercussions when it comes to cherry picking. And here's why I say that. Because cherry picking does a few things. Number one, it gives me stuff I want to do. Okay. I love appliance repair, but there's some jobs I go to and I'm like, why the heck did we pick this? And oh, by the way, now I got a recall, or there's a higher probability of a recall. So, I'll be honest, I don't like working on washing machines. I really don't. I try to throw those to somebody else any chance I get. And only because the data shows me that when I do a refund to somebody, because I refund all their money back. If I don't solve your problem, I'm going to refund every dollar back you gave me. So if I refund somebody, I'm tracking that. And I'm like, okay, well, what's the stuff I'm really good at? I'm mastering, and I satisfy the customer and they see the expectations. And I get 5-star reviews, which is another one of my pillars for the strategy. You know what I mean? So for me, it's like what allows me to accomplish my strategy, whatever that is. But no repercussions. I'm happy when I go home. I make more money per call. I'm wowing the customer with my knowledge. They're telling their friends about me, raving about the service. Hey, that's what I want. So I have no negatives on cherry picking.
That's big, man, because we're in a season right now. Well, we've been in a season for quite some time where I am pushing more towards cherry picking just because we're so busy. And we don't cherry pick so much as, well, somewhat on what kind of jobs we do. Sealed systems always get top priority. But also pre-existing customers and property managers. That we're not cherry picking so much as what kind of jobs we do,
right?
But we're definitely prioritizing certain things. We're prioritizing our faithful customers because we want to be loyal to them. So if you call in and you're a new customer, you're not going to get the same quick service as someone who's been using us for years. Our property managers, they are bread and butter. So they're going to get same day, next day service. And we leave slots open every day for those emergency property managers when they call in, fridge is down, because they keep us going. When we do slow down, which hasn't happened in a long time, those property managers are the ones that keep us going. And the sealed systems, that's just common sense. I mean, I'm gonna go run an LG compressor before I go out on a GE dishwasher or washer machine any day.
Right.
So let's switch gears just a little bit because we're talking about cherry picking in the busy seasons, and we got to prepare for them off seasons. And Doug had this comment, which kind of lines up where I'm thinking on your other comment about washers. For me, I don't really love washers, but I never turn them off. Like I'll stop advertising for them, but dishwashers and microwaves will push out. and here, Doug's mentioning slow seasons. You focus on dryer vent specials. You'll actually start taking dishwasher installs, but you actually do dishwasher installs kind of frequently.
Are you talking to me? Oh yeah.
Yeah, you.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I do dishwasher installs all the time. And lately it's been the ones where they're like, Lowe's or somebody dropped it off and I thought I paid for installation and they looked at me like I got 30 more deliveries, So they call me for those. But yeah, specifically in the slow season, I will tell you, we do open it up to more installations with haul away. And as TK talked about, man, those property managers, I never sleep on that relationship. I give them priority. Saturday, my wife and we're staying overnight in Cincinnati tonight. Tomorrow, we're doing like 9 at one apartment complex, a townhome complex, just to make sure they're taken care of. So I'm with you 100%.
Yeah.
Rob put a good devil's advocate. There you go. Just to be the devil's advocate, cherry picking can get you in trouble. When a client refers you to their neighbor because of your great service, then you decline the neighbor because of it's not what you want to do. The first place they go is back to your original client and let them know you have to be careful. And he's right. He is right about that. I would say that is the number one thing as far as Andrew's comment that you have to be aware of. And I think just like in anything in business, you just have to be honest with people. We're swamped right now. We're booking 2 weeks out. We're trying to take care of our property managers and our existing customers. We'd love to get to you, but unfortunately, our next available date is August 13th or whatever. And the truth shall set you free. If you just operate in truth and honesty, then you're good to go.
Hey, so and let me make a good point there. So Rob, you bring up a great point, but let me clarify. Just because I cherry pick doesn't mean the customer knows I'm cherry picking. Okay, there's a difference. So if a customer comes to me, like you said, it could be a referral. TK's on point. I am totally honest with them, because I had a guy, Durham, North Carolina. Anyway, he was telling me, he said, you want to get to the point in your business where customers feel lucky to have you. Okay. So that's what we've done. And what's interesting is we do that. Hey, I'm a week out. I'm 2 weeks out. We're hoping they'll do the self-selection and be like, hey, man, I really appreciate you, talking to me, calling me back, but I need something today, and if they need something, I give them a solution of somebody I trust. Hey, here, Mr. Appliance, they will do a great job for you. I know the guy, blah, blah, blah. So we had that conversation. But I will tell you, if that doesn't work, I'm putting them on the calendar. So if they come back and say, and they do sometimes, Lamar, I'll wait a week and a half to get you because I was told you can do a great job. Okay, sir, let me go ahead and put you down right now. If somebody cancels, I will get there sooner. Customer doesn't know that I'm cherry picking, but I'm being honest with them,
Yeah. Well, that's the same thing I was mentioning earlier in the week. Like right now, we've got dishwashers and microwaves on 2 weeks out. Now, we're doing some of them inside the 2 weeks. If they come well referred from a previous customer, or we're screening them out. We're not saying no.
Right.
It's like we're out a little bit. We're trying to take care of all the refrigerators that ain't working right now. I hope you understand that. That kind of thing. But it does get harder as you start growing.
It does. It really does.
See, we had some more questions here. Let me back on the tags. Bob asked, can you give an example of how many tags you're using for your lead sources?
Wow. Okay. Maybe I don't understand the question because it's one tag per lead. So if I get it from Facebook, I'm going to put Facebook ads.
How many different tags do you use?
Oh, okay. Got it. So, we use like mailing flyer, so whatever it is. So we got mailing flyer, Google, and we break down by which, we got from, if we can tell. Sometimes you can't, but sometimes the numbers are listed in there. We can backtrack. Home Depot Pro Referral, Facebook, Thumbtack, Service Direct, Buddies. Sorry, that's the rental place. Blue Vista, that's our property manager, and B&I. Yeah, those are all my tags.
Yeah, I'm probably using a few more than that. Let's see. I've got Google Ads, the Google local service ads, B&I, prior customer, referral, the different warranty companies, Angie, Thumbtack, Yelp, whatever, and some other local sources, that give me a little more than normal. We track that, and what
track any of it.
What I do, and I'm sure you do as well.
Y'all are inspiring me. I need to start tracking.
Well, I'm sure Lamar does this too, but what you do is as you're tracking these lead sources, especially like the referrals, like local referrals, like the furniture stores, appliance stores, plumbers, other appliance companies, Lowe's and Home Depot, whatever it is. When I see them fall off, then I can go and say, hey, just checking in. What's up? I don't say, hey, you stopped referring me, but hey, maybe they're forgetting who I am. Maybe they got somebody else working there and I need to introduce myself to them as well. Maybe they ran out of business cards. And then, like you said, too, some of them don't work. Like you had mentioned in one of your videos when you started talking about this, a rental company, appliance rental company. Wasn't really the kind of leads you wanted.
Well, I can tell you that one real quick. It was an appliance rental. It was an appliance rental company, and I look at the data, and I was averaging 200, 250 on all these jobs, and I see their source, and it's like 125, and I'm like, what happened? And so what I found out was they were going there messing with all these appliances, and then the little few they couldn't fix, and it was so screwed up, they would give to me. So you go over there, you got to figure out what's wrong, and most of them weren't salvageable. And so you just ended up collecting 125 all over town every day, and you wasted all that time. You could have been more productive. And so we had to cut that off quick.
I hear you. Boy, we're getting these comments rolling in. TK, help me out here, bud.
TK's frozen again.
Is he?
I was joking about that.
He is frozen. Well, I'll tell you what. Usually when you freeze, you end up in like his.
Right.
He looked cold right now. It's like he means business. Beard's on point. Everything. So we had another question here from Andrew. Way back, when you did the flyers and continue to do flyers, do you cycle through different areas to keep the campaign fresh, or do you hit like the same areas over and over again?
Well, we cycle through like 4 different areas, and those areas are like real close. You know, it's in like a 5-mile radius. No, I would say about 8-mile radius. So we circle through, and then we go back and circle through those same 4 again. Because when you do the EDDM in the USPS website, you know, it saves the areas that you hit, you know, paid and everything like that. So yeah, we try to hit them again. Now, we haven't been very good at it because I told my wife to pause it because I'm just like, it was so successful. I was like, don't send any more out. So we still got a box of flyers. I'm waiting to send out more the slow season because all it's going to do, we have more jobs that we can handle now. So all it's going to do is just throw more jobs on top and you start disenfranchising people. So we're trying to avoid.
We got 66 reflections. What's good?
Hey, what's up? Good morning.
Gosh, we rolling through them, guys. If they're coming in so fast, we may not get you on the screen, but we'll try. Mike Reed says that is not an issue. Referrals can include some 20-year-old decor with parts in LA. Just because you turned them down doesn't mean you're letting your original customer down. I'll tell you, so we don't spend too much time on it. It really is about the presentation. Right? Let's not get too hung up on the cherry picking. Okay, that's just one of the things you do when you're busy. You start to pick different things that you want to do. But let's talk about ways to keep going in the off season. Let's see. Bob says he has previous customer tag, and it's like 70% of his business. I'll tell you, Bob's been doing this 30-something years. That's where we want to get to. Guys like us want to get to that point where you just naturally get calls just because you've done great service for such a long time that people are either word of mouth or previous customers coming back like, TK, what's up?
Can y'all hear me now?
Back? Yeah.
Okay, cool. Sorry, I don't know what I'm done trying to figure out why my computer hates me. It seems to be every computer that hates me.
Mark says he's been tracking his calls for 30 years as well. 90% are established, and referrals, Facebook and Nextdoor are good also. I'll tell you, until you get to that point, what we're talking about, diversifying your lead sources is big because we're trying to build the reputations that will last for those decades. And until you get there, like me and Lamar, we're inside 3 years. TK's made it to that point with about 8 years now. His new business is less than a year or two, but it was coming from very established businesses prior with great reputations. How do you keep busy in the off seasons? And I used to put all my eggs in the Google basket, and you know, I'd put a little bit into Facebook, and I didn't really know what else to do. So now I do several different things, like Lamar. I'm just yesterday, or what was it, Wednesday, I had some of the teenage girls, my teenage daughter and her 2 friends. They went around and put door hangers in a nice neighborhood in Lexington. Did about 1,000 doors. And that was inspired by Lamar with the everyday direct mailers. I didn't know how to get into it. So I was like, well, I'll just do door hangers. We'll do it the manual way. Costs a little bit more maybe, but try different things. These water bottles that I'm doing, it's another thing. Is it going to be something that sustains me? Probably not. But it make the phone ring a little bit? Yeah. Am I going to put magnets on their fridges? Yes. Are they going to remember us when they need something again or when their friend does? And that's what we hit. Doug says training, van and truck updating and counting, team meetings to discuss company's value. What is that from, Doug? Not sure what he's talking about there.
I wonder if he's talking about a slow season, but he'll clarify.
Andrew says, as the younger business using Thumbtack, how did you transition into better leads and referrals?
Yeah, so kind of like the Appliance Depot. Look, I just had multiple aisles and multiple shelves. You know what I mean? Like Thumbtack was just one aisle, and we just, we ran it as hard as we could. But as a parallel, we're over here building my structures, in the other places. Everything I talked about earlier, the flyers, the Google My Business, the doing great service on every job and getting the reviews to support it. BNI, networking, property managers, pick up the phone. I called every rental company in the city. Only one picked me up, but it only took one. So just churning day after day after day after day.
Speaking of rental companies, property managers, and TK may have some advice on this one. How do you go about getting property managers?
I got quite a few property managers from doing warranty work in the beginning. A lot of those people that own those homes have warranty, home warranty on the home, for their appliances, HVAC, whatever. You go there, they got a property manager managing it. The property manager meets you there. They like you. Next thing you know, you got that property manager. A lot of my property managers just came from word of mouth. They heard about us, they asked. Property managers network just like all other business people network. So if your name's buzzing around as the company to use for appliance repair, the property managers are going to hear about it. And then the old faithful, exactly like Lamar said, call them, show up at their office, bring them a stack. EJ put together a really professional looking packet for property managers. He's helped me with some property management agreements that I have for my property managers, and be creative with it. I always tell this story. I was sitting in a restaurant in the Fan, which is like the middle of VCU area in Richmond, and I heard a lady. There was a bunch of suits standing at the cash register ready to check out, and the lady was talking about how she couldn't find electricians and plumbers and appliance guys. And as soon as I heard appliance guys, my ears perked up. And I tapped her on the shoulder. I said, ma'am, I'd like to give you my card. She sat down, looked at her phone for a minute. She said, I got a call 4 blocks away on a gas stove. Can you go look at it today? Well, I said, sure. Squeezed her in. Come to find out, the name of the company was Wilson Group, and they're one of the largest property management companies in Richmond. Thousands and thousands of properties, and been doing their work ever since.
Yeah. Just takes a little bit of work and a little bit of luck, right?
And always be advertising. You're spending people spend thousands and thousands of dollars on Google, but they don't give the people that they run into on a daily basis their magnet. Right. Come on, man. If you leave your house without a pocket full of magnets, you're slipping. You should have a pocket full of magnets every time you step out your door. I don't care if you're going to the mailbox or whether you're going on a vacation. You should always have magnets on. You should always be marketing. You should always be advertising. Advertising and marketing is so much more than just Google ads. You got to be handing out the magnets to the people. If you go somewhere and they have one of those push pin things where you can stick some magnets in with a push pin, throw some magnets on it.
Yeah. Andrew says he's concerned about burning through all of those options early. So he's made an attempt not to call on all the different options. No word on if it's going to work. Now, I'll say two different thoughts on that, right? As you're growing from the very beginning, which Andrew's in 6-7 months now, you don't want to get too many leads because then you're not cherry picking, but you're saying no because you're busy. And then you either cherry pick or don't, but you lost them. You lost all of them. So to that point, that's a good idea. As long as you're busy enough. So when I was doing that, I would try one thing at a time. And if it didn't work after a week or two, then maybe I'd try something else. And then eventually it's got everything coming in all at once. It would be way too much for one person. But what are your thoughts on that, Lamar?
Yeah, well, I'll just tell you what I did. So I went the opposite way. I went and I threw everything on the wall and saw what stuck. Now the con of doing it that way is it's expensive. Just to be honest, it's very expensive, and I'm not sure I've spent enough time really evaluating all the sources thoroughly before the money just kind of ran out. So if I had to do it all over again, I would do a slower approach. I wouldn't do singular. I would probably do two sources and kind of push them, because if you think about something like Home Depot Pro Referral, look, that's loyalty point. So it really costs it costs you something, but it really costs you nothing because you can target it down to individuals. I would probably do that with something else to offset it that might push more to you and may cost a little more. But I would take a slower approach. I like yours better because you don't want to disenfranchise a customer, especially starting out, when those reviews and that word of mouth is just so critical to keep you going. Yeah, I get it.
I was muted.
I was like, yeah, see your lips moving. All
right. Paul says unless it's a small town, millennials are typically not going to be as dependable as repeat business. They care about how fast you can be there, and they will, I believe, not be as loyal. Now, that's definitely a stereotype, but when you're planning your business, stereotypes matter. Like they are stats, right? It's not something to do as an everyday general rule to treat people differently, but it's good to understand the trends, right? It's just like you pointing out washers aren't as profitable for you. Millennials may or may not be as loyal, but I think it's how you treat customers. Now, when you get into a house, you have to relate to that person as quickly as possible so that you can build that likability and trust, and it helps you make that sale. And that relationship is what we're trying to target. I'm not trying to target that sale. I want the repeat sales. So I don't know, how's that saying go? Like, people don't always remember what you do for them, but they remember how you made them feel.
That's right.
And if you can connect with a millennial just as well as you can connect with Gen X, then you're doing something. You got them people skills. They'll remember you too. I don't know if I completely agree with this, but I definitely think there's something there.
But I want to touch on what Paul wrote, though. I like what he said. He said, unless you're in a small town. So I will tell you, Paul, to get ahead of the slow season, we retargeted our area. So like I was saying earlier, we were like all over Louisville, which has a lot of technicians. Everybody goes there. We retargeted from Louisville northeast of Cincinnati because customers kept telling me when they found me, they're like, look, you're the third or fourth person I called, but you're the only one that will come out here. I'm like, I don't care about being a third or fourth. I would rather be, a big fish in a small pond. I have no problem doing that. So that's one of our strategies to get away from, okay, when the slow season does happen, or slow worst season, I won't say slow worst season happens, those people are going to be dialing my number, and my awareness is going to be hitting them right now. And when I do ads, I put those counties on there and say, hey, we serve this county, that, all the underserved counties we're listing on our ads when we post them.
Right.
Yeah, I agree with Andrew's comment here. You are an awesome guest, man. And let me blow your head up for a few minutes because I've been following you. It has to be a few years now. Just through I found you on the Appliance Boot Camp, and I'm always watching new guys because I feel like the Appliance Boot Camp brings so many new guys in, and you've just been a shining example of how to do it right. And I want to give you kudos for that because, the Appliance Alliance, the Service Alliance group, our motto is elevating the industry. And guys like you, man, that come in this industry and just, you fail forward, but you're doing it the right way. You realize that, all your marketing strategies aren't going to work. Everything you do isn't going to work, but you put the customer first. That's one thing I've seen about you since day one. You put the customer first. It's not about that mighty dollar. You said it earlier in the interview. You said, if I got to give them all their money back because I didn't fix their problem, that's what I do. And that's what separates, in my opinion, the guys or gals that are out here just to get a dollar and that are really out here to grow a business and take care of the customer. So echoing Andrew's comment, I hope we can get you on as a regular, man. I'd love to have you on some more. I feel like we could do several of these. You know what I'm saying?
Love your platform.
I love picking his brain, man. Lamar, you just got that mindset, man. You know how to do it right, and you treat and love people.
So I want to take over. How much time we got left? I'll talk all day.
Go ahead.
Yeah, but let me just put it this way. Never look past your previous experiences when you're looking at this new situation, the appliance business. I'm sure there's something that the new person's done in some other business that they really thought through it. It would mirror what we're doing now. Okay. So I was brought up in the recruiting and retention world of the Army. Okay. So I was that guy that went out and trained different states on how to do better marketing to get more troops to fill their formations. So it's the same thing. I mean, we did all kind of stuff. I mean, you've seen it. Rappelling towers, we're at the county fair, we're driving our car around the state, give people rides, whatever, but every month we would have to sit down and say, the commander's like, hey, you did all this stuff. I got 100 guys out there. Where's the payoff? You know what I mean? And that's the same thing I do with the business. Like, where's the payoff? So that's all. I just wanted to add that.
Yeah. It's long-term game.
It is. It really is.
Let's see. We got Mark. Been doing this a long time. He's commenting on the previous one. The sad thing is, answering your phone is just hard for people.
Right.
And I'll tell you one thing that I connected with on you as well earlier, where you're right outside the metro and you decided I don't need to stay in the metro and compete there on the start. So where I started in Mount Sterling, 30 minutes east of Lexington Metro, it was less competition. There was more need.
Right.
And I was able to capitalize on that in the early areas. So I didn't grow bigger than I needed to because it's a small area. The people were loyal and shared my name. And then the brand grew. Then I went into the metro. And it's already established. It's kind of, I don't know what they call that, gosh, I can't remember the battle technique, or the little bighorn or whatever, where you go to all the small areas and then get the big area afterwards. Gosh, it'd be better if I remember that word. But yeah, you get yourself established. You're hitting that I-71 corridor. You got the 2 metros on either end.
That's right.
And you've got yourself a reputation. You're capitalizing on the 5-star reviews. I love it. And you got the clean image with the white shirts, as hard as they are to keep clean. You look the part. The name is hard to live up to, man, but you make it easy.
Yeah, I think the real question, EJ, is what kind of washer machine do you have, and what kind of detergent are you using?
Whirlpool and Tide.
There you go.
Wait,
top
Whirlpool,
load
Whirlpool with the full agitator. I bought a
Okay.
new one with a full agitator.
Mine's the Kenmore 80 series direct drive and the Tide Pods.
Yeah, I got a Roper. I got an old Roper by Whirlpool direct drive, and man, that thing just keeps on going. I got the set. I paid $250 for the set, probably, I don't know, 6 to 8 years ago, and thing just won't die. Paul said he's calling in sick.
Doug, better call Paul. Make sure he's all right.
Yeah.
Joking. Maybe not.
We definitely want to have you on again, Lamar. I think you might have to be a reoccurring guest if that's cool with you.
Sounds good to me, man. I'm learning from you guys. I learn from you guys every day. I appreciate what you're doing. Quality, man. Quality.
For future discussions, Lamar is successfully doing a 4-day work week where he's off on Fridays. Another reason why he can wear the white shirt today. So we may talk about that at a later date. See how that's working out for you. But
yes.
Thank you guys for tuning in. Lamar, thank you so much for joining us. And we can't say enough good about you. If you guys are out there in the community doing appliance repair and you want to know a little bit more about Lamar, it seems to be an open book. Hit him up.
That's
if you don't want to, he'll just tell you he don't want to answer your questions.
Yep.
And if you want to, if you're not following him on YouTube, his YouTube page is Appliance Professionals. He posts there rather frequently. So if you're not following him on YouTube and you're a YouTube person, make sure you go over to Appliance Professionals on YouTube and give him a follow and subscribe and all that good stuff.
If you look up Appliance Professionals of Louisville or Appliance Professionals of Cincinnati, you'll see all our reviews, our pages, our photos, everything. Pretty open book.
All right.
Good stuff, man.
I appreciate y'all.
See you guys and have a great weekend. Tune in next week.
All right.
Peace.
Take care, everybody.